What is going on, everyone? It is me, the Lone Vault Wanderer, here to talk more about Borderlands, because why the fuck not? I think I speak for many people when I say that we are very excited for this game. We are intently looking forward towards E3 to see what Gearbox is doing. But I think at this stage, we don't really have any news to speak of. So let's do some speculation instead, because speculation videos are always a fucking fun time. So the question for today's video is, who do you think this character is in the recent Borderlands 3 tech demo? Please let me know in the comments below and debate it out. So we are going to be looking at the tech demo reveal for Borderlands 3 that took place at GDC. Now mind you, it was never called Borderlands 3, okay? So I need to put that caveat out there. However, I think the assumption is very safe to make that this was relating to Gearbox's next Borderlands game, which we know is going to be Borderlands 3. So let's set up context here. Randy Pitchford at GDC, he revealed this Borderlands 3 tech demo, okay? And he showed a bunch of things. He showed some character models, he showed lighting effects, shadow effects, texture effects, etc., all those kinds of things. Really, the purpose of this presentation was showing how Gearbox was utilizing the Unreal Engine to develop their games. That was the whole point. That's why Randy Pitchford got onto the stage. That's why he showed actual gameplay footage, because the people that are in attendance at GDC are game developers, so they want to see that kind of stuff, alright? Now, for the purposes of this video, I want to focus on one particular thing that was shown throughout this tech demo presentation, and that was this character model here. And if you actually go back and watch the presentation by Randy Pitchford, Randy makes a very concerted effort to conceal and hide the identity of this particular character. Throughout the presentation, he made a number of jokes about it, a number of references. Also as well, you can clearly see the character's face is obstructed by the helmet or whatever that is. So it's very clear that they were trying to hide the identity of this character. Now, initially I thought to myself, well, why would they be doing that? Why would they not show the face of this particular character model? After all, this presentation was meant to be showing how Gearbox was using Unreal Engine in the development of their games. Wouldn't that be something important to show to the audience in terms of the character model and how the faces look of their characters in the game? Especially because they're developers and they want to know information around that. Wouldn't that be something important to show to that kind of crowd and for the purposes of this particular demonstration to show off Unreal Engine? Why wasn't that the case? Why wasn't that done? There must have been a reason behind it, behind the concealment of the identity of this character, behind the mask, behind the helmet, or whatever it is. You don't just do that, right? Especially, again, bearing in mind the purpose of the presentation. You don't just do that unless you have a reason behind it. And the reason that I'm going to speculate and throw out there is that this character is either, there's a number of options here, alright? This character, one, could be a brand new character and a brand new playable class at that in the next Borderlands game. They might not be a returning character, it could be completely new, so that's one option, and perhaps Gearbox didn't want to reveal the identity of one of their 4 initial starting classes for the next Borderlands game. And that makes sense, right? This was not meant to be a reveal of Borderlands 3, it was meant to be a tech demo for the game. So in that sense, it's understandable why they wouldn't want to reveal the identity of a new class, a new playable character for the next game. Secondly, it could just be a returning character of some sort, one that has appeared in previous Borderlands games, whether 1, 2, or the pre-sequel, and either that person could be a playable character or they could be an NPC. We obviously can't tell just by looking at this tech demo, this is all speculation here. But this could be a returning character, and maybe Pitchford didn't want to spoil the surprise, of this returning character that everyone might like and everyone might love, returning back to the Borderlands games, because that would be a surprise. That would be something that would drive the views of a trailer, for instance. That would be something to really generate hype for the game. And again, going back to the fact that this wasn't the purpose of this presentation, to reveal Borderlands 3, I can understand why you'd want to save that surprise for a future reveal of some sort. A trailer, video gameplay, etc. But the third option, which is kind of a mix of the previous two, and this is what I think the case to be, and again, completely speculating on my half, but I think this character, 1, is not only a returning character, but also 2, is going to be a playable class character in the next Borderlands game, in Borderlands 3. There's no real extra reason to suggest that this will be the case over the fact that it might just be an NPC, or over the fact that it might be another playable character that's brand new. But this is just my speculation, based on the look of the character, how tall she is, I'm presuming she's a female, mind you. My speculation, my guess, and also importantly, my wish, is that this is a returning character in the form of Tiny Tina. And importantly, my guess is that Tiny Tina will be a playable class character in Borderlands 3. And this is my wish. I've said this for a very long time consistently, and I'll say it again. Tiny Tina is by far one of my favorite video game characters of all time. Without a doubt, she's my favorite female video game character of all time. And it's funny because she's one of my favorite characters, even though we've never played as her, but she still played an important part in Borderlands 2. Just her constant presence was a fucking hoot. It was awesome. She was funny, she was in your face, she was psychotic. The things that she was doing, you think, you can't be doing this as a 13-year-old girl, but it was so funny. It was fucking awesome to see. And every time she came up, whether it was in a DLC or a mission of some sort, and she would come over the radio and speak to you, it was just funny. She always had something funny to say. She lit up the room, and I would just love not only to see her again in Borderlands 3, but to actually play as her. I mean, we saw in the pre-sequel that you could play as Claptrap, so we know there's some precedent there for characters that originally weren't actually playable. They weren't playable classes, they were just NPCs, becoming a playable class of some sort. And Claptrap was one of those characters, again, that was loved by the fans because he was just this stupid little robot that sometimes made you laugh anyways. And because of that love for the character, they just brought him in as a playable character, and that makes sense because you get to play as that person, you get more interaction with him or her, and I think the same is very possible, and to be honest, I think it's going to happen for Tiny Tina in Borderlands 3. Why not have her as a playable class? Everyone loves Tiny Tina for the most part, so let's play as her. Let's have her psychotic nature be a constant part of the game, be a constant part of the main story as well. Allowing us to play as Tiny Tina will allow us to fill the shoes of a character that a lot of us do love. And when you even look at this Borderlands 3 tech demo, the shape of the character, the height, etc. seems like a grown-up Tiny Tina, to be honest. Now, you could go back to all of the playable and also non-playable characters in past Borderlands games, see which ones have a similar body shape, see which ones are female, and assume it could be any one of those characters. But this is just my guess. This is just my speculation. And it's why I'm asking all of you guys watching this, who do you think this character is? Do you think it's Tiny Tina or do you think it's someone else? And secondly, do you think this is going to be a playable class character in the next Borderlands, or do you think it's just going to be an NPC? Or third, do you just think I'm clutching at straws and over speculating in this regard? It's probably the case, to be honest. But my simple desire is that we'll be able to play as Tiny Tina in the next Borderlands game, in Borderlands 3, and I think that this tech demo is showing Tiny Tina. I could be wrong, but that's just my speculation. Anyways, Waysanders, let me know what you think. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and until next time, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourself, and would you kindly keep fighting the good fight.